biggest stars. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The biggest names in music.
Oh, wow.
Big names, big songs, big guests, big prizes.
Well, it's a big show.
The Big Show.
Put your hands together for the one and only
Glenn, Angel, FD, and Shawn.
That's what I'm talking about.
1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It is a Thursday, a very cool Thursday morning, and we have our career strategist with us, Adrian Chu from careeragility.org. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, everybody. My mic was off. It's a Thursday morning. It's so nice and cold, and I didn't want to wake up this morning. But lovely to meet everyone again, and welcome Singapore, welcome world. Good to hear from. Good to be able to speak to you again.
Sorry to drag you out of bed again.
No, sending my kids to school, man, that drags me out of bed. So
wow,
yeah, up early, rise and shine. So that's great.
Fantastic. How have you been, Adrian, over the past week?
It's been good. We've been busy. We've been working on lots of projects and lots of people to help. So it's been a good week. It's been a good month, actually. So very happy to be here.
But speaking of help, I saw your latest post, your Facebook post, and you're helping this lady who has had difficulty adjusting.
Yes, I saw that post.
Right? So she's just started her new job and she's thinking about quitting. I thought that post was really, really awesome.
Yeah, basically the background to it was that a number of our clients have landed, and they've landed jobs in very nice roles in very nice companies, but they have problem adjusting, especially when you've been in your old company for many, many years and then you move into a new place. Just too many things happening at the same time. So it's been week 3 and she says, I want to quit because this new company I can't fit in. So we coached her and we told her, look, 3 weeks is way too early to make a determination whether you want to stay or leave. I mean, there are certain factors which come in and you know that you want to leave. I mean, if you jump into a new place and you find everyone there lacks integrity or is dishonest, then yeah, that's a warning sign. But if it's an adjustment issue, we say it's just like wearing a new pair of shoes. It's going to be uncomfortable the first couple of weeks, first couple of days, weeks. But after a while, the shoe fits you, you fit the shoe and you get in. So hang in there, basically, if you're in a new job. And, may not be... it takes some time to get adjusted to it. So just hang in there.
So how long would you say is a proper adjustment period? How long should someone give themselves?
I would say 3 weeks is definitely too early. Within 1 month, 1.5, you would have a kind of a feeling whether or not it's going to work out. But if at the end of the second month, and after you've had discussions with your bosses and with your career coach and everything, and you find that it's not going to work out, then you have to start taking steps as to how to remediate.
Love his shoe analogy. His shoe analogy was really
I
good.
like that.
Yeah.
No, in his post.
Oh,
in
really?
detail, yes.
Every new shoe is going to give you blisters, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, especially I don't want to get into trouble here, but women's shoes. I know women who go for the fashion and the style, and if it's uncomfortable, never mind. I'll just wear it. I don't know. Angel, do you do that?
It's totally true. We torture ourselves to the max. It's crazy. I'll go into a shoe shop and look for a pair of flats, and I'll come out with like 3 pairs of 4-inch heels. So it's a terrible habit. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my shoe habit. We're here to talk about 5 types of job hunters.
Because it is a difficult job, right? The people who do the interviewing.
Yeah, correct. And it's stressful for the interviewer who has to speak with all the different types of individuals coming in. And it's also stressful for the job hunter who's going to come in and come in for the interview itself, but even the job hunt process. So it's quite stressful all around.
So what are from your experience, what are the different types of job hunters that hiring managers have to face?
I think the first type of is what I call the spammer. The spammer is someone who just applies for anything and everything. A job comes along and hoping something sticks. So from the job hunter's perspective, he is just trying his luck. And that's why sometimes I see people online when they start making a post, like for instance, hey, I've sent out 55 CVs, I've sent out 200 applications, I got nothing. It's like, that's spamming, that's not even applying for jobs, right? So when the job hunter spams, they set themselves up for failure, they set themselves up for disappointment, and sometimes it's very demoralizing. So if you are in job hunt mode And if you are spamming, please don't. Just be more selective. Have a strategy, plan, target. Bottom line is this: if the role doesn't look like something that you could do, you must have a 70% confidence level that you can do the job. Okay, and then you go for it. If it's something like, hey, maybe I could try it. Probably it's not going to be. You're wasting your time and you're wasting the interviewer's time. So, if you're spamming, the main thing is don't. Just pause and strategize.
And target it. Okay.
Target what you're going for.
We are speaking to our career strategist, Adrian Chu, right here on 1FM 91.3's Big Show and Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Prince with the most beautiful girl in the world on 1FM 91.3. Good morning.
So, Adrian, we have the spammer. What other types of job hunters do we have?
Well, the other one is basically for interviewers, we sometimes come in and we meet people who are clueless. Okay, they're clueless. So they come to the job interview and they do not know much about the job or the industry or about the role. I think, FD, we mentioned this before. I mean, you've seen people coming for your job interviews.
Yep.
Clueless, right?
Absolutely clueless as to what the job entails, as to what the company does, what the industry is about. It's just, sales, I think I'm going to do.
Yeah,
no, and selling deodorant and selling an event, they're different things.
they both stink.
So it's quite sad because, and sometimes these clueless folks are the result of the spammers that accidentally fall through the cracks and end up at the interview and they go like, oh, what am I doing here? Oh, wow, okay, I could do that, So the clueless guy, person who comes up for the interview, he's also sets himself up for failure because you have to come very prepared in terms of what exactly is the company about, what the role is about, what the industry is about, and more importantly, what you are about and how you can solve the other person's problem, right? I mean, it's, you come in and you don't sell yourself properly, no homework. I actually had an interview once with a candidate who came in when I was headhunting, and he was totally clueless, and I had to walk him through the role.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, and I was just being courteous, honestly speaking.
You're speaking about the interviewee doing due diligence before going in for an interview. Does the interviewer also need to equally do due diligence on the person that's coming in for an interview?
I think not so much because the interviewee coming in is selling. The interviewer is buying.
But they should at least look over the CV and go into a little bit of detail, right?
Exactly, correct. And I have to agree with you as well, Angel, because sometimes you go for an interview and you speak to the individual, the interviewer, and the interviewer hasn't even seen your CV yet sometimes.
Yeah.
And they don't, and it's, to me, it's a bit disrespectful if you ask me. You invite me in for a conversation and only then you're looking at my CV for the first time. Oh, you say here that you're working in this company. I don't like that company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At least the basics, right? Like the first couple of paragraphs, at least, like what the past job was, what their specialties were. You don't need to go all the way through to the education and stuff like that.
Yeah, correct. So I think you're right. It is both ways, but the onus still falls upon the interviewee going in for the discussion to be able to at least have a decent amount of information going in.
But Adrian, I find due diligence or not, a lot of what's missing here, and it's not just the young, it's even mid-career change people. They have a problem selling themselves. They really do. They don't quite know how to do it.
Yeah, I think on top of not knowing how to sell themselves, they also don't know what they're worth.
Yes.
They don't know their worth of how much they should be earning. It's either they don't know it or they think they're worth way too much.
Less.
Than what
I think they're afraid
know.
to say it.
Less or more.
Less or more, yeah.
Could be, you know. It could be they're afraid to say too much about themselves in case they oversell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to come across as cocky as
Because
well.
no one wants to undersell
Yeah,
themselves.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. It's from my experience, it's a particularly Singaporean thing. So
Is it an Asian thing? Is it an
it's
Asian
an Asian thing?
Asian
It's Asian thing. Yeah, particularly Singaporeans are a bit quite modest. I mean, we are well modest bunch. When we culturally, especially it's a Chinese thing also. We don't like to boast. We don't like to come across being too cocky. We don't take compliments well, even. They say, oh wow, your kid's so clever. No lah, he's not good well in school. We don't know how to take compliments well, basically. So likewise, we are afraid to highlight our achievements. And that's why if you're prepping for the interview that's really going to matter to you, is the job that you really want, you have to rehearse, you have to practice. That's why our clients come to us for interview coaching. Basically, if the job is really important to you and you want to up your chances, you got to sit down and you got to practice, and you need to know how to sell yourself. And that's really important, because you're right. A lot of us can't sell ourselves, or sell ourselves incorrectly, or sell ourselves too cheap.
Yeah. Underselling.
Let me give you an interesting example. Was there a red card coming up? Sorry, I didn't see that.
No.
Oh, no.
I was just going to read a comment from our Facebook page about this as well.
Okay.
Anthony Yo has a different opinion. He says, most times they oversell, join the company already, then don't know how to do everything.
In crash.
Then don't know this, don't know that.
Crash and burn. So, but talking about the worth that you have, okay, you're at. So, 2 months back, an individual came to us, and she was with the company for about 17 years, okay? And she she said, my current salary is about 8K, 9K-ish, okay? And this wanted to join a new company, which was a bank, and which is a different industry altogether. She said, the bank offered her 10K, slight up. And she asked me, how much should I ask for more? And I said, look, your value to your current company is maybe 8K, 9K, but because of your experience there, your value to the new company, to the new bank, and the bank wants your kind of expertise, your network, your contacts, because this lady's in PR. And your worth, if they were to hire a PR agency, it would cost them at least 15 to 18,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, you go in and you ask for 15 grand.
Did she get it?
She said, no, I cannot. I know it's too expensive. I said, don't ask, you won't know. Okay.
Yeah.
And your value to them is a lot higher than what your current company is valuing you at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she went in, she tried her luck at 15. She didn't get 15. She got about 14.
Okay. That's all right.
It's
Still.
a lot. It's a lot higher, right? So the bank was trying to lowball her. See? And of course, it's not just about asking. It's about framing. It's about putting forward your value proposition during the discussion. So all these are all interview strategies which you need to deploy. In order to get, it's not just a snap my finger, I dream of genie, twinkle your nose, and suddenly you get a wish coming through, right?
Yep.
So it's all about the strategy.
Yeah, but the other kind of person you get at job interviews are the guys who have been through, say, 6 or 7 different industries, and now they're coming into this industry. How do I handle someone like that? How does someone like that handle coming across not as a jack of all trades, but someone that I can use in my organization?
Can you ask him that question again when we go on air? Okay, stand by.
Here we go.
Westlife, Uptown Girl, right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. I absolutely hate this version. Absolutely.
Billy Joel's the only person who should be singing this. Yes.
Yeah, but I think this song made it to the greatest hits of all time countdown last year.
This version.
Year before,
This version last year. I think it was song number 900.
And 13.
Glenn memorized the whole list.
He's
Yes,
got
he
the
did,
whole list.
yeah.
So
Ask him and he knows
ask me
everything.
any song.
Yeah.
Any song, I'll give you the position.
Okay, we won't
He'll
talk
give
about
you a
songs
number.
now. He'll give me a random number.
So, Adrian, I was asking you, the other type of person that comes, and I've seen this, they've been through, say, 5 or 6 different industries. They're coming into a brand new industry. How do they not sound like a jack of all trades and master of none? How do they make themselves worth my time?
That's a very good question. We see a lot of that happening, especially the mid-career folks.
Yeah.
They're coming into jobs which they have very little experience in, and they're hoping that the hiring manager is going to give them a chance to have a go at it.
Yeah.
But one thing you must be aware of is the hiring manager is not there to give people chances. He's there to make sure that he's got the best person for the job, who can stay, who can perform, who can deliver and make him look good. So he's going to be quite agnostic as to whether or not where you're from. It's whether or not you have the particular skills that he needs for this person to be successful and to make him successful. So if you're coming from a very broad industry or different industries, try to find out exactly what the hiring manager really wants, which falls back onto the first point about doing your homework and your due diligence. For instance, if it's a different industry, but if what's required is more sales management and the organization doesn't have a good sales management process, but you're coming from another industry, maybe like pharmaceutical, that has a very strong sales management bent, then you can come in and say, look, I may not be from your industry, but hey, in pharmaceutical, I used to manage a team of 56. And I trained them and I coached them and I taught them how to build funnels, and I can double your sales. So I may not be in your events management business,
Right.
Yeah.
but I can train, I can put in a system, I can do the digital marketing pieces. So you want to sell on what you have rather than what you don't have.
Because you may be able to pull from, say, a little bit of experience from each industry that you've been in and then collate all that experience and put it into the new company, right? Which may be something that they don't see initially because they're just like, oh, you're from pharmaceuticals and we're doing something completely different.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why you really need to, that's back to the previous point, you really need to know how to sell yourself as well. So you need to know what they're buying, what the hot buttons are. And that's why it all falls back down again to the initial piece, which is research. If you research, and sometimes it's tough to research on your own. You got to get someone from the industry, talk to someone. If I were to want to pitch to a company that's in entertainment, I'll pull FD aside, I'll pull Glenn aside, I'll say, hey, look, what's the background? What's wrong with this company? What's the biggest challenge? How do I solve it? So just get the due diligence all in. You need to know how to sell yourself, and don't come across as a jack of all trades, master of none, because it's right now. Sometimes they don't not want a general practitioner. They want a surgeon.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to come across showing that, hey, look, I have this particular skills which could be important to you.
Right. Okay. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking to Adrian Chu, our career strategist, about the different types of job hunters. So 5 different types of job hunters. We spoke about the first one just now, which is the clueless one.
The spammer.
Yeah, the spammer.
The spammer.
The spammer
and then the
first.
clueless.
Who comes in with, I see.
Yeah.
Spammer was the first one.
Yes.
Clueless was the
Second
second one.
Second one.
What's the third one?
The jack of all trades.
What's the fourth one?
The Desperado, which we're going to go into now.
All right, maybe a little bit for our exclusive audience on the Big Show TV, and then, or rather,
radio.
on our exclusive audience on the radio, and then we'll go back to the Big Show TV.
Yeah, so there's a group of individuals, when they come into your interview room and they're desperate, they've been out, they really want the job very badly, and the smell of desperation, which is not a bad thing altogether, but it erodes your negotiating power when it comes for negotiating time for salary and everything else. So I guess we'll be talking a bit more about that when we go off air.
All right. Yep. Meantime, here's John Farnham with You're the Voice on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Yeah, okay.
Okay, now the Desperado.
It was too late for me to get Shawn to slip in that song. Number 520, by the way, last year. Yeah.
So who is the Desperado, Adrian?
Sometimes, if you go for too many interviews, or you're really need a job very badly, okay, and I can understand how it makes you feel, and you do feel a bit frustrated, and to the point where the job comes along and you really, really want this job. My advice for you, if you're in such a position, is take a step back. Okay, don't come across being too needy, too desperate for the job, and because it really erodes your negotiating power, even if they really want you. Okay. But more importantly, if you are coming across too desperate for the job, interviewers can pick it up, and they will start to worry. Why is this person really so eager to join to take this role? This role, sometimes the situation is such that it's a senior person who's gone around looking for roles at a senior level, and then not being able to find the appropriate role at that level, and then they're trying to take a step down. And they sound just over eager to take a step down without being able to explain themselves why they're taking a step down. And then when they are over enthusiastic about I can do it, sometimes it sets off warning bells with the hiring manager. So that's why if you're in such a situation, take 2 steps back. You must be able to explain and rationalize why I'm taking a step down. For instance, look, my previous role was a global role. This is I know it's a 30% pay cut or 30% reduction, but I'm okay because I want to focus on this particular region rather than a global role. So if you can justify yourself and explain it properly, it removes that doubt in your mind. So the desperation basically plants seeds of doubt in the interviewer's mind, and it works against you.
It's true, because even myself as an interviewer, sometimes I get these people who come in and they just seem so over-eager, wanting a job. They're really desperate to get this job. And all that does is it puts the ball in my court. I now have complete control.
Is it because it comes more from a place of need than want?
I think it comes more from sometimes it's okay if it comes from a place of need and want. I mean, if it comes from a place of fear,
Yeah.
then you smell, that it's like, something's not quite right, with this person.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
is he?
I
So
think there's a
that
fine line, though, don't you think? I mean, you said
It is.
eager, desperate. This person could just be really enthusiastic. Really enthusiastic.
But again, it's as Adrian said earlier, it's how you sell yourself. You may be really eager to get this job, but the way you're selling yourself, you're sounding desperate.
Yeah.
So
And no one likes desperate.
This is why people like Adrian are so important. They can teach you, they can guide you on how not to sound desperate when you are eager.
To fine tune it.
To fine tune it, because it's a very, very thin line.
Exactly. So sometimes you don't show that eagerness, and people say, "Okay, you're
They're
not
not
really
enthusiastic.
interested."
Yeah.
Not
See,
interested,
it's so hard.
So it's a balance, right?
Yes.
Okay,
It is,
so
it is.
we've got the spammer, the clueless, the jack of all trades, the desperado, and then we have the final one, which is the slick salesman.
Yeah. FD, have you interviewed someone who had the right answers for everything?
Mr. Know-It-All.
Absolutely. I have done it many times, and I'll tell you what, the minute I come across a Mr. Know-It-All, your interview is over.
But when you say Mr. Know-It-All, right? What exactly do you mean?
They come across as, I have the answer to everything. I have the answer to every problem that you have. I am your godsend.
Okay.
And then they complete your sentences and they know every fact that you're talking about.
Hell yeah.
Every general knowledge thing that you mentioned.
And do you know how I
that bad?
catch them out? I tell a lie.
Oh. And then they
And
say,
then they
yeah,
agree
yeah,
with
that's
you.
it.
And then they agree with it, and I go, you know nothing.
And then you say, John Farnham's You're the Voice is song number 913, and they agree with you as well.
Yeah, it's much higher on the list.
No, I said it's 520.
Oh, it's 520?
yeah.
Oh, see what we don't know?
But yeah, that's what I do when I get these Mr. Know-It-Alls.
You lie.
I tell a lie.
Wow.
Yeah, but
That's
sometimes
a good
these
trick,
Mr.
though.
Know-It-Alls really know it all. No?
Yeah.
And then if they come back and go, if they come back and they tell
call
me,
you out?
well, that's not quite true.
Then it's good.
Then I start a conversation.
Yeah, then it's good. I like it when people challenge you as well in a
Yes,
good way.
in a good
You know,
way.
there are a lot of staff that will just say yes all the time.
Yes.
But the ones that really don't think your idea is not good, they will come up to you and say, I think we should do it this way because
Right.
this is probably more effective.
Is it because the interviewer wants to be the Mr. Know-It-All, so the interviewee cannot be a Mr. Know-It-All?
No, I
So
think
like you are so you know everything, so you won't allow, let's say, the person whom you were talking to
Ego, you
know
mean?
more
No.
than you. let's
No, I think a Mr. Know-It-All, again, I
Just
go
an
back.
example
Yeah,
here.
I go back to
You know how
selling
much I love
yourself.
you, I'm not
No. I go back to selling
You
yourself.
guys want to sit next to each other again?
No. I go back to the point of selling yourself. If you really know it all, sell yourself as someone I can depend on.
But
Right.
you don't know me yet.
Don't.
I'm trying to get in there.
Don't come across as cocky. You're heading down the wrong road already. No one wants to hire someone who's cocky. Come across as someone I need because I have solutions for you.
Yeah, but sometimes people like cockiness, right?
Very seldom. I found very seldom. There's very
I think
seldom. I
there's
like
a difference between cockiness and arrogance. I mean, cockiness comes across as arrogance.
Yeah.
But I know confidence is one thing as well. You know, I'm very confident I can come in and help you.
Yes.
Right? I think that's okay, right, Abdi?
Yes, that's okay. But it's
Yeah.
that arrogance because, and I tell my staff this, I tell people, I train this. Your worst enemy in any given situation is arrogance. It is your worst enemy in any given situation.
Well, we have a message through on our WhatsApp from someone named Will, and he says, don't talk too much. Being smart is enough, but don't be a smart aleck.
Yes.
Which is true, right?
Sometimes act a bit blur.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Act blur, live longer.
I think you're saying the right.
saying-
It's about saying the right things
Yeah.
at the right time,
Right time.
in the right tonality.
Yeah. And Adrian, isn't it true that sometimes you don't have to say it all because you'll be able to show it all?
Like Ronan Keating says, right?
When you say
you
nothing.
say it
When you
best.
say-
You say it best
When you say nothing at all.
Adrian, I do have
Song number 400 last
Yeah,
year,
Of
by the
course,
way.
yeah.
On the countdown.
Oh God! We do have a question on Facebook that I think is rather interesting, and Ray is asking you this question: which matters most? Transferable skill, like we said with the jack of all trades, if he can transfer skills, which is more important, transferable skill or knowledge of a specific industry? When I'm in an interview,
Why not both? You see.
Yeah.
So you have to see it's when you go for a job interview, you want to present yourself like a stool. I mean, if it's you have a stool with one
A
leg,
stool?
a stool. Sorry, a chair.
Not talking about
Okay.
piece of crap, right?
Yeah.
When you say
We're not talking about stool as in
Ew,
the
no.
brown stuff. But no. If you have the more legs a stool has, the more stable it is, right? So you want to have talk about your industry knowledge if you have, your transferable skills if you have, the relevant information or knowledge. So instead of just presenting one, whatever you have, you just bring to the table and have a discussion. And once again, it falls back to number 2, which is about doing your homework. What exactly they need, and that's how you sell yourself. Because the interview process is basically a sales pitch. And if you can't pitch yourself correctly, you may be ideal for the role, but it's just gonna miss. You're just gonna miss.
Okay.
Okay, stand by. We are going for a traffic update and then we'll be back. Ouch.
In 20 seconds.
Hit my kneecap.
Oh, that's the
Ouch.
worst.
Wow. Okay.
OneFM 91.3 traffic.
we take a look at the traffic. We see what's happening on the roads this morning. We've got the BKE towards Woodlands. A vehicle broken down after Mandai Road. Lots of delays across the expressways. That's quite normal for this time of the morning, though. So just stay within the speed limit. Please make sure you have everyone in your car buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, world. Welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It is a Thursday, so that's why we have Adrian Chu with us. He is our career strategist, the CEO and founder at careeragility.org, talking about 5 different types of job hunters this morning.
And we've gone through the spammer, the clueless, the jack of all trades, and the desperado. Can you tell us a little bit more about the slick salesman, or as we call him, Mr. Know-It-All?
Yeah, so sometimes when you go for an interview, or if you're a hiring manager and you meet someone and you get the interview itself, and he seems to have all the perfect answers for everything, and it sometimes makes you happy that he's done his homework, but sometimes it makes you a bit nervous because it's like it's so well rehearsed. Is this guy for real? So interesting story. I once when I was headhunting, I presented a candidate for a sales position, and I was in the same room as this guy, and he was able to answer almost every question perfectly, And at the end of it, when he left the room, my client turned to me and said, Adrian, it's either this guy is either the king of bull, or he's the perfect salesman for me.
Yeah.
It was so funny. So sometimes if you are, it's important to go prepared, but don't sell too hard. Okay, you sell correctly, but don't oversell yourself. Like someone earlier said, sometimes if you oversell yourself and you do land a role, you set impossible expectations that you can,
Right.
and you're setting yourself for failure as well. So you got to be careful on that. There's a balance.
So undersell and overdeliver.
Sell just right.
And then overdeliver.
You understand they don't hire you.
Don't have to over-deliver as well. Pace yourself.
That's true.
I always feel like
that's
you
true.
need to pace yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Be
true.
realistic in that sense. I think today's session is so important because there's so many people who are going out there for job interviews today.
Now.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
virtual job interviews and all.
Yeah.
And I think your tips are going to come in very handy for them, Adrian.
My pleasure as always, gang. So, if the listeners are going for interviews, number 1, do your homework. Number 2, you must be able to articulate your own skills, how you can bring value to the organization, and stay cool, stay calm. And if you are looking at an interview that's really going to matter to you, a really big one, okay, and if you really want to get, just drop us an email, info@careeragility.org. We do run programs for that as well, and I'm always happy to help our listeners out.
Fantastic. Thanks so
Awesome.
much, Adrian. We look forward to next week. Have a good weekend.
Pleasure's all mine. Thanks, gang. And hi, Luke. Enjoy your session as well.
Fabulous.
Thank you,
Okay,
Adrian.
take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
See ya. And of course, if you want to get in touch with Adrian, you can do so at Adrian or info@careeragility.org. All right. We have Luke Tan with us, our educator and personal development coach. What do you have for us this morning, Luke?
Good morning. Talking about work and job applications today. It's about stress management, just in case you don't get the job, or just in case you're a little bit stressed from the work, or even just the environment around you. So stress management is key today.
That's going to be so
Awesome.
handy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I don't have to depend on my, glasses of whiskey every evening. Let's do something a bit more natural. All right,
Or marijuana. Can't say that on live TV.
here's our educator after all.
Plant medicine, so...
Yes, Firehouse with When I Look Into Your Eyes. This song was number 212, I think.
Yes, it was,
on,
yeah.
the greatest hits of all time countdown last year. All right, you tuned in to The Big Show and The Big Show TV right here on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
That was funny. But you know,
That's how we start the conversation, right?
it's
That
so
is.
true. But you know, stress management, I feel, is really, really important, especially in this day and age, because it's not just about your life, your work life. Because when I'm finding it, even among my friends, many people are getting stressed at work, and that's beginning to flow into the family because they can't cope with that stress. So they're beginning to take it out on those nearest to them.
Because there's the work from home and everything
Yeah.
as well. So
You know
everything's
how
in the same
it's
environment.
How many
Tough.
relationships have ended
Yeah.
Because of all this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
since
It's
the
tough.
pandemic started?
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
tough.
Anyway.
So,
Yeah,
Luke,
such-
take it away.
Yeah, it's such a great point because right now the past 2 years have been quite stressed, and I know of couples that have ceased relationships because of being in an environment where they're not normally in, like 24/7. So I think stress levels are high, but the case is, there's always work stress, there's stress from the news, but how do we manage it, which is the topic of the conversation today. I mean, to start things off, like for me, I like to kind of start with more of a top level macro view on how we can do it is 4 strategies here. So the first one is detoxification. The second is breath management, which is I'm big on. Next one is changing your strategies around how you manage stress. And also the final one is focus. Because when you focus on what you're stressed about and the problems, you're going to get more of those problems versus focusing on the solution. So these are really the 4 strategies that I would like to kind of go into. So the first aspect really is detoxification. You need to look at your environment to see what is toxic in your environment. It could be sometimes people, sometimes it could be family members. It could be even just having the news 24/7. I know of people just having the news in the background while they're working. That is a constant flow of stress. I mean, news. The problem with news is a lot of it triggers our fight or flight response. A lot of it is bad news. So just turning that off. So and even socials. Social media can be a source of stress to some people who are really into it because. At the same time, the beauty about social media is you can also curate your feed so that you can get inspiration. But however, sometimes you don't. And if a post keeps coming up and you just start feeling, you start doubting yourself in any way, maybe it's time to detox and unfollow so that your feed is just positive and enriching and empowering at the same time. So the next one is...
Hold on, Luke. Hold on for one moment. Sean,
Switch off the TV.
Switch off the damn
Yes,
CNN
I know.
now.
I was going to say. Because we're watching this every morning and all it is bad news. Let's just switch
exactly.
it off.
Okay,
Or
look,
we
look
can-
at me then. I'll look at the TV.
We can change it to like National Geographic or something.
Yeah,
From
even
like oceans
elephants.
and elephants and animals and stuff.
Peppa Pig, even Peppa Pig is better.
Peppa
I would
Pig,
say.
there you go.
My daughter loves Peppa Pig.
Cartoons are awesome. Okay, so you've got the detoxification.
Detoxification, and of course, the food that you eat as well, because as they say, our gut is our second brain, and our biome, which is hundreds and millions, billions of bacterial entities, are in our gut. And as research has shown that 95% of serotonin is made in the gut. So if you don't really eat well, you're not going to activate create serotonin, which is your feel-good hormone. So detoxify from, as I said, shared in previous sessions, processed and refined foods, highly inflammatory foods. So that's the first part, detox media and food. The next one is breath. So breath is a big one. One quote that I always remember that Viktor Frankl shared once before. He's the author of Man's Search for Meaning. He was an ex-Holocaust survivor. And this quote is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So let's just think about that for a moment. So there is that space between stimulus and how we respond to the stimulus around us. It could be the news, it could be our relationship, it could be our better half, it could be our children. But that space that we can create, how can we create that space to choose our response? Breath. And the beautiful thing about breath is that when you think about it, where your mind goes, your body follows. At the same time, where your body goes, your mind also follows. So how can you control your mind with your body? This one thing, breath. Because where the breath is concerned, the breath activates your vagus nerve, and your vagus nerve is called, I would say they call it the wandering nerve. It goes from your cranial, from the back of your brain all the way to your chest, to your lungs, to your kidneys, to your liver, to your stomach. So what the vagus nerve actually does is triggered by breath. You actually can change the way you detoxify. You can change the way you breathe, of course, optimizing your breathing, especially through nasal breathing. I think I mentioned that before. And also you can optimize how you digest and recover. So this one thing that we often forget to do, as they say, just breathe, is the one thing that we can do at just if we remember to do it. Because when we think of our primary fuel source, let's say if we look at things like, we can last days, if not weeks, without food. We can last days without water. But how long can we last without breath? Like minutes. And which proves that this is our primary fuel source, air. And the thing is that because it's something that we do automatically, we don't actually think about what we're doing. So the goal really is the next aspect after detoxification is focusing on your breathing. Okay, so what I mean by that, ideally you want to, even when you're working or even when you're driving and listening to this right now, if you're walking, take 6 breaths per minute. And what I mean by that is...
Okay, hold on, Luke. We're going to go for a traffic update, and let's talk about breath again, because I think it's very, very important. I've got a few points that I want to bring up as well. Just focus on breath when we come back. Hold on,
FD traffic.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
Alrighty, we've got the usual delays across the expressways. Nothing too major that you need to worry about at this point in time. Just stay within the speed limit, please. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for this morning is our Veducator and personal development coach, Luke Tan. And this morning, of course, he's touching on something I think everyone needs to hear, which is how you can manage your stress. And Luke is up to the point where he's talking and emphasizing about breathing right now. And I think, breathing is so very important. Breathing, as you mentioned just now on The Big Show TV, affects your entire being. And that is so true, because if you're having trouble breathing, it will affect your heart rate as well.
The rest of your body,
your heart rate goes up, and that could affect your blood pressure. It affects all your organs, as you were mentioning earlier on, Luke. So, do you think that enough emphasis is placed on breathing?
I don't think so. I think because it's something that we do automatically and we almost kind of discount it. But at the same time, by focusing on it, it is an extremely powerful tool for as you said, managing your stress response, but also digesting better, detoxifying better, but also being fully present in the moment. The thing is that when we're in a fight or flight response where we're worrying about the future, thinking about the past, we're not fully present. And the only thing that we can get to the present moment right now is our breath. And when we actually connect back to our breath, you can almost feel like the stress just fades away. And what I mean by that is the things that we want to start thinking about taking deep breaths. And what do I mean by deep breaths? Deep breaths, belly breathing. In yoga, they talk about belly breathing. So really, when we're stressed, we hyperventilate, right? When we're agitated, we hyperventilate and we just kind of chest breathe. But when we're calm and we're grateful and we're ready to receive, you take it all in.
So what is the right way of breathing though, Luke? I mean, is it very important to just breathe through your nose or can you breathe through your mouth as well?
Ideally, you want to work towards breathing through your nose, because the thing is that your nasal cavity is built for breathing, and there are filters inside your nasal hairs, your mucus, and your respiratory system is built for nasal breathing. And because it also filters the air. Let's say if the air is really hot, it will filter it and cool it down. However, it's really cold outside, it will filter it to warm it up as well. So ideally, nasal breathe. And for me, nasal breathing has been a game changer for me, because it is the one thing, if I could say, that really got me asthma free. And I think I shared this before. I've been 8 months drug free. And now I tape my mouth when I sleep to force nasal breathing when I sleep. And now that when I'm training hard, my aerobic capacity, my recovery has improved significantly. So nasal breathing, ideally, and it's not something that it's natural to us, because a lot of times when we're just not conscious of it. But all I'm saying is, and from now on, start being conscious of how you're breathing and breathe through your nose.
Yeah, because we're all taught, growing up, to breathe through the nose and to exhale from the mouth.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
You can do that, definitely. You can exhale through the mouth as well. For me, I would kind of advocate for my clients to work towards nasal breathing only. And you're going to find, just next time you go for a jog, try this, or a little bit of a run or cycle, try just forcing yourself to nasal breathe. When I remember doing it the first time, I was just like, is this really weird? But when I started getting used to it after about my first K of my run, I felt like I could actually focus on my gait and focus on my form for running, because I wasn't thinking so much about breathing. So for those who are asthmatics as well, I think the first thing is really start thinking of how you can really start breathing through your nose.
Right.
So I think as long as you breathe in through your nose, that's number one. But ideally, in and out through your nose. But in through your nose, out through your mouth is also just as good.
Okay. We are talking to Luke Tan, of educator and personal development coach, on how to manage your stress levels right here on The Big Show. Right now on The Big Show on OneFM 91.3, it's John Travolta featuring Olivia Newton-John. You're the one that I want on The Big Show. I'm just the opposite, no, Luke. I tried breathing through my nose while running, and I found it to be very difficult, because I am when I go for my run, I breathe through my mouth. And I think I feel like I take in more oxygen, and I think I'm so used to it right throughout the years. So I tried it once, just breathing through my nose. And not exhaling through my mouth. Oh, it's hard,
difficult.
Man.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
I mean, just by sitting here and just trying to breathe through my nose as you're speaking, I feel I'm forced to take deeper breaths. Does that increase, or does that improve your lung capacity in that sense?
That definitely does. That improves your lung capacity, because it also, when you're actually breathing through your nose, you can take versus
you're forced, right?
You're forced, and it just kind of stays up here. But however, if you try breathing through your nose, let's just try breathing through your mouth right now. Take a big breath. You kind of stop there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try breathing through your nose. 3, 2, 1. Exhale first, and breathe in through your nose.
Yeah, it feels a lot
It
deeper.
just kind of
for me.
goes on and deeper and deeper
Yeah.
and deeper. And that's why when they talk about deep belly breathing, you want to breathe all the way into your belly and imagine like you're filling a glass of water up all the way up to your chest and feel your chest expand. That is a full breath. And that breath can take 3 to 5 seconds. And that's why I said before, ideally you want to shoot for about 6 breaths per minute, which is 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, times 6.
Times 6 in
Oh,
a
wow,
minute.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's really a minute.
It,
so
it
really
sounds
that's
really
6.
short, but it's not.
Yeah. So I think that's the first thing that you can do when you're stressed is just,
1 minute.
I mean, quite simply, just breathe. And there's this thing that I do with clients called PBTA, which is it's an acronym for pause. When you get a triggering situation of someone or in an environment, pause first, which is P. Breathe. Think about what your response is, and then act. So you pause first, breathe, and within the breathing aspect, you can actually do this thing called the 3-breath rule. So the 3-breath rule is 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out for 3 breaths before you think of your response.
Okay.
Okay. I
So
love that.
PBTA. So PBTA. So the thing is that whenever you're triggered by someone or something, first thing you do, PBTA or 3-breath rule, and then respond. So you're creating that space between stimulus and your response.
I think a lot of people here, I understand that breath. I think a lot of people do it wrong though. They try to think of the response while they're breathing.
And they're
Which is
breathing
wrong.
shallow.
You get it all wrong. You need to stop, empty the mind, breathe, and then think.
And for a start, I mean, for our viewers on the Big Show TV right now, you should try this out because I think it really does help. Like
It helps
Luke
to
said,
calm you.
exhale first through the nose, right? Because I usually inhale first through the nose. That's my first.
You gotta empty first,
Yeah,
yeah.
you empty it first and then you breathe, right? Oh, damn sure.
It's a different.
Yeah,
it's a different.
really. Seriously.
really good.
You know, Luke, I feel we
what's that
can.
came out from
I
my
feel
nose
we
here?
can spend like a whole 45 minutes on breathing, even an hour. But I do want you. We do want you to finish off this whole how to manage stress. So you've done. The next one is management. You said
Strategies. Stress management strategies. So strategies. There are 2 strategies that I apply. I get my clients to apply as well. One is they call this the OODA loop, OODA, and this OODA loop was created by the late Air Force Colonel John Boyd, and basically this technique is to use was used to simplify life or death situations in aerial combat.
Okay.
So OODA loop has been used in the military. So what the OODA loop means is like the first O is observe, and then second is orient, decide, and then act. So you're kind of going into a loop: observe, orient, decide, act. And so what do I mean by OODA? So for example, if my daughter is having a meltdown, for Sienna, she's having a super big meltdown, screaming and stomping her feet. Normally, I would just say, "Stop it right now! You're too loud. You're just shouting, stop!" And that's what I used to do. But until I just pause, breathe, think, act, and and learn as the time went on. Like she just wants. I think that my daughter has. She just wants attention. She wants a bit of love. So I just stopped and used the OODA loop, and now I do that all the time. And I observe what the situation is. I took a step back, and I orient to the fact that she just needs a cuddle. She needs a hug. She needs some love, and then I decide to go over, and then I act by just carrying her up and saying, "It's okay. It's okay. What's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong." So I do the OODA loop, and you can use the OODA loop in any situation. Let's say if at the end of the day you spend this whole day doing a project and a task, and at 5 p.m. your boss comes in, "I don't like it. You gotta do it before you leave." It's like, are you kidding me? I spent the whole day doing this.
Yeah.
So you just observe the situation. Okay, what's the next best thing? Breathe first, oriented, because you still have to do it anyway. You can't change your environment, but you can change your perception, and the OODA loop allows for you to change your perception. So that's one strategy. And Another strategy is called the worm, which I use, which is an acronym WIRM. The first one is witness, and the second is interdict. The third is redirect, and the fourth is maintain. So what do these words mean? So witnessing is, for example, the same situation where the boss comes in at 5 p.m. say, you need to do this again.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. So, all right. So yeah, you need to do this again. You need to, and the first step is witness it. Rather than being a part of that story, buying into the story, take a step back and witness this whole situation. A lot of times we get, all right.
Okay, we'll go on air. Yeah. I think it's a good example that you brought up about your daughter.
Yeah.
Let's bring that up again, okay?
For sure.
Yeah. The script with superheroes right here on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Luke Tan, our personal development coach and veducator. Luke, we spoke about various ways to manage your stress so far. Let's just recap.
Yeah, so you've spoken about detoxification through social media and food. You've spoken about breathing, how to pause and take a breath, and you've also spoken about strategies, which you're on right now, and the OODA loop, which you brought up, which is observe, orient, decide, and act. And you gave us a great analogy about what happened with your daughter. Can you recap that, please?
For sure. So the OODA loop. How I use the OODA loop. I take the example of my daughter having a meltdown, and normally I would just fall into it and get angry with her and say, "You stop shouting," and then she just ends up crying more and more, and I'll just keep going, stop shouting, and it just goes into a loop, and everyone's all stressed and upset.
I think so many parents can relate to that, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So for parents out there, use the OODA loop. Okay, what is the OODA loop? If your kid or your teenager is having a meltdown or disobeying or not listening or whatever it is, first thing is orient. So observe what the situation is like. So I take my example for my daughter having a meltdown. I observe that yes, she's having a meltdown, but rather than falling and buying into the emotions, I observe it and then I orient to my new insight, which is okay, she's crying because she needs some love and attention from me. So I've oriented to this new reality. And then I decide to walk over and pick her up. And then the last bit is I just hold her. Observe, orient, decide, and act. The action is holding her close to me and saying, "It's okay, honey, I love you. What's wrong?" And I just keep going through that OODA loop anytime and every time I'm stressed or triggered. So remember OODA: observe, orient, decide, and act.
I can just see people now when their bosses start to scream and shout at them today. They're going to take a step back. They're going to observe it. They're going to orient. They're going to decide.
And then act.
And then they're going to walk up to their boss and hug their boss and go on, tell me what's wrong today. Come on.
Exactly. Tell me what's wrong.
Come on, just tell me
give
what's
me a
wrong.
hug. You need a hug.
I'll just pick the fella up and throw him against the wall.
Exactly. And you observed, orient, decided, and acted.
Okay,
Luke, we have very little time left. In a very, very brief wrap up, can you just wrap up your final point on focus?
I think the final point really is focus on what you can control versus can't control. A lot of times we focus on what we can't control. And I always think of the serenity prayer that is used in Alcoholics Anonymous. So what is the serenity prayer?
Let me write this down.
Yeah.
This is a great prayer.
I've heard it
before. It's a great prayer.
Yeah.
Should I say this prayer?
So
Yes.
it's the prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, is the serenity
Very
prayer.
strong.
So basically,
I didn't know it was used by Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes.
It's used by a lot of people.
Used by a lot of people.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. The first focus on what you can control versus can't control, and there's few things that you can change in any given situation. Your perception, your procedures, what you do, or your environment. Your environment might be the hardest thing to change, but it might be the one thing that you need to change somehow, somewhere down the track, because if not, you're just going to be in the wrong space, the wrong people.
Right.
And if you're not a religious person, you just say universe, you just say give me the strength.
Exactly.
You know, so it's not, so a lot of people do use that serenity prayer. Well, thank you very much, Luke. It's always
Been
a
a pleasure.
pleasure to see you every Thursday and get some positive vibes to go into our weekend.
Awesome.
See you again next week, Luke.
Indeed. See you again next week.
Thanks.
Thank you,
so
everyone,
much.
guys.
Thanks,
Good morning.
Luke.
See ya. Bye.
Coming up very soon, we've got Asia's Got Talent finalist Shawn Chua, who'll be in exclusively on The Big Show TV. Meantime, let's head to the newsroom for headline news and sports.
It's big.
You know, it's
And here he comes.
It's really quite interesting, this whole thing about breathing.
Breathing,
and how important it is.
I think he should do a whole session on breathing. Really,
but-
because not enough people breathe properly.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hey, morning, Shawn.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I was watching and I've learned to breathe. You know, this is something that I don't know. You guys have been on stage, right? We have all been on stage, and you get that bit of nerves before you get on stage.
Yes.
Yes. I think this breathing exercise is going to be.
Oh,
great
yeah.
for all
I
of
think
us.
so. Yeah.
But I never knew about these breathing techniques before.
No, I do yoga, so I do know
Which is
some,
why
but
I
not all.
always have alcohol before I host.
Like,
shows.
for example...
Yes, now I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, like for example, Luke taught us box breathing,
box
right?
breathing,
Which I do every morning now when I get up. And I have not used my Ventolin pump in I don't know how long.
Oh, that's fantastic. Did you used to use it in the morning? All the
Most
time?
mornings I would have to pump, but
Also
I
because
haven't
you
used
haven't
it.
exerted yourself for a while, so...
No, it's not that.
I brought him his 2 kilo
But
weights.
it's not that my breathing is not a problem with exertion. Sometimes I can't breathe.
Not breathing
But
properly.
you definitely
because I'm
will
not
be
breathing
better.
properly.
It's not
That is
breathing
scary,
properly.
you know. That is scary.
Yeah.
Like having difficulty breathing.
Because we're so complacent. It's like blinking. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you wake. You're breathing every second when you sleep, when you wake up, when you eat, and everything. We don't think about it.
You don't think about
So
it.
what he's teaching us is just to be more conscious
Yeah.
of the way you breathe.
But many of us don't have that problem, you see.
What,
but FD
breathing?
just said that he has breathing problems.
Because
problems,
if
yeah.
if you're asthmatic, then you have breathing problems,
And
and,
then you
sometimes
know-
you can get an attack. I used to get attacks in the middle of the day
Yeah.
where I'm suddenly kind of.
Then what happens?
You use the pump
You
and
use
it
the-
opens all your airways.
asthmatic.
But now I don't.
And what if someone doesn't have the pump and
You
has...
carry the pump with you all
an
the
attack?
time.
People,
you carry the pump with you all the
it
time.
has been known to be fatal.
Yes.
Because you
Yes.
find it hard to breathe. Yeah.
You can't breathe.
Can you go and buy extra and then
You don't
keep some
need
in...
it.
No,
Oh,
no,
for
no. As in,
him, for
keep
him.
some in the studio, lah.
But now I don't. I
You
box
have it in
breathe.
your bag,
I
right?
box breathe.
Not just for you.
Yeah.
Anyone who has trouble breathing,
No,
can use
no,
this...
no.
It's not
Ventolin,
for
right?
everybody.
It's not for
It's
everybody.
not for
Yeah, but
everybody.
surely if someone is having difficulty breathing and all
No,
that...
no, you
You-
can't
If you're
just give.
desperate...
You can't just
Hey,
give them.
CPR.
Sean Chua is still
CPR.
here,
Yeah,
by the way.
let's
Oh,
get
hey,
those
Sean. Oh, sorry.
Okay, let's go,
Ah,
Sean.
yo,
Sorry,
nice to
man.
meet
Deal with
you,
this
huh?
every morning.
Hi,
He's just watching us going, hey, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All right.
because that was an important topic. It was. It
Yes.
was.
It was,
Okay, so what
okay.
are we doing today, Sean?
Okay, so let's lighten it up a little bit. All right, and let me tell you guys a story of the greatest team of heist artists. So this is a story of a grand heist. Okay, and I will show you who the characters are and what's going to happen. Okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
let me just give you a good look at this. Is the scene of the heist. Let me just adjust that.
And I just want to remind you, you've already played with Angel for the past few weeks already. Don't have to play with her anymore. You can play with us.
Played with angels?
Okay.
I mean,
this is-
you know what I mean.
Well, this is kind of a story, so you guys get to watch along, and of course, we'll get to participate a little bit.
Oh,
But
there
first,
you
let me
go.
introduce the characters in this heist. Okay, so we have these guys. That's 4 of them. That's 1. All right. 2, 3, 4. Now, these 4 guys are the world's best security team.
Okay.
They go over there. All right, so these 4 guys are the world's best security team, and they have a job. Their job is actually to protect a diamond. As you can see, it says here, a diamond.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
So far we clear with the what's going on, right? Because
Yes.
this might get confusing if you don't know what's going on. So that's the security team.
Yeah.
That's the diamond that they are supposed to protect. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So the diamond goes over here, and I am going to put it in a little vault.
Okay.
All
for
right.
extra security.
Yes, so
Yes,
cute.
for extra security. All right. Now, like I said, they are supposed to protect this diamond, and they know that this bunch of thieves are really clever. And before I continue, Glenn, since
He's
shouldn't pick an
feeling
angel, Glenn,
unloved.
do me a favor and just pick out one card you see. Anyone, doesn't matter.
And I like diamonds. So shine bright like a diamond. Okay, I like the number 8. 8.
This 8 of diamonds.
Yes, 8 of diamonds.
Okay. All right. Now the thing is that I haven't told you who the thieves are.
Ooh.
The thieves in the story are
Angel.
Hey, you guys. Hey, it's all of us.
Yes.
It's all of us.
And that's why before every heist, they get their supreme leader to pick the tools and the distractions.
Oh,
Okay.
And he picked this particular tool for today, this particular distraction for today. Okay. So that's your 8 of diamonds right there.
Okay.
Okay. So the stage is set. All right. We have you guys with your distraction, your tools. Your job is to get past the 4 security guards to get to the diamond in the vault.
Okay.
All right. So now these 4 guys know that you're coming. Okay. The 4 of them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
They know you're coming. They're in formation. Now they wait.
All right.
Nothing's happening.
Okay.
All of a sudden, these 2 guys drop dead.
Oh.
I don't know. Poison. Maybe someone farted. I don't know.
That must be FB.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm hoping the other 2 die as well.
No. So these 2 guys had to go check on the diamond to make sure that it's still there, right? So they go check on the diamond, and to their surprise, what's left is the distraction.
Oh.
What?
Because you guys have already secretly made away with
The diamond.
the
The
diamond.
diamond.
Now you see, man.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done,
Wow.
Shawn
Wow.
Chua.
Thanks. All right, that was a story of the world-class heist that known as like the big team or something like that.
The Big Show. The Big Show. The Big Show.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
And you know
Big
that
Show.
diamond was the Pink Panther.
Yeah. Nicely done,
That
Shawn.
was nicely done, Sean.
Very nice. Very nice.
Just
Well done.
a little morning story instead of a bedtime story.
Yeah, love
Yeah,
it, love it.
loved
And
it.
if you want to find out more about Shawn and what he does, or even hire him for anything, it's his Instagram handles right there: Shawn V Me, ventriloquist, magician, and entertainer.
Yep, available for bookings whenever that happens.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Sean, for joining us as always.
Yep.
Have a
good
great
weekend, you guys, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Take care, mate.
You take care.
All right, bye.
I like his new hairstyle, by the way.
It looks the
was
same
new?
as last week.
I mean, a bit shorter.
looks the same
Less-
as last
less
week.
messy, I
Less
guess.
messy.
Less
I think he
messy.
combed it today. He's still probably listening.
You know what it was, right?
No.
If you remember an old TV show, he's using, what was it called? Soul Glow?
Oh,
On his
that's
head.
Coming to America. You remember Coming America?
Soul Glow.
Soul
There was-
Glow.
there
It
was the
the
guy
guy
that
that
was
was going to
that- it was
marry
that-
the girl.
This was a bit before my time.
No,
I think.
Coming to America.
Come
Eddie
on.
Murphy.
I don't think I
Oh,
was.
man.
Nonsense.
We young people
Soul
don't
Glow.
know.
Soul Glow is something you put on your
It's one
hair.
of your favorite movies. What
Never-
rubbish.
I think it's just FD and yourself.
No,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
this is?
Stop it.
You know what this is? Glenn doesn't want to admit there was a time when he was using
Soul
Soul
Glow. All that shine and that grease.
It's kind of like Brill Cream, huh?
Yeah, I kind of like
shinier,
Brill Cream,
shinier.
Oh.
Shinier than Brill Cream.
Okay.
Soul
Soul
Glow.
Glow.
All right, it's time for us to check on out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, but for
Makan
our
Sutra,
Big
Friday
Show
tomorrow.
TV viewers, if
Uh-huh.
you haven't met our new producer,
Yes, bring her
Shalini in the
Shalini.
house.
She fell asleep a bit. How was going on?
That's Shalini.
She's like, first day already, she's like, do I have to do this every day?
You'll be seeing a lot more of Shalini. And, of course, we have Anjali here as well.
Anjali, come in. Second
crowded
last
up,
day, and then we won't
Yeah,
see.
yeah. There's Anjali.
There might be tears tomorrow.
Who's off
No,
to...
there will be tears tomorrow.
There
to the
will be
UK.
tears
Angels
tomorrow.
one,
Hey, no, I think FD might cry
I'll
also.
cry
I think
too.
Glenn might shed a tear as well.
Me? I never cry.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I think yesterday you were like
Never.
shedding. Yesterday Tuesday.
Huh? What
Tuesday
happened?
during Dr. Jerry's session, and then when FD
yeah.
professed his
No.
love for you, yeah.
What?
I booked
Wow,
you guys
that
a
was
room
deep.
for the weekend if you want. Anjali, do you have any second last day words?
Oh no, I wasn't prepared.
Doesn't matter. This is
Then
the
never mind,
this is
tomorrow
the
then.
good
This is for the second
Okay,
last day.
tomorrow you
Tomorrow, speech,
from you.
Speech.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go
tomorrow.
right one.
Yeah, go right
Yeah.
one.
But she's not flying off right away anyway.
But this is the last
That-
time that our
that's true.
viewers and our
Yeah.
listeners will
Just
get
want
to
everyone to know
Yeah.
we're going to
see
party party with
in
her.
Singapore. Yeah.
After that, one
Okay.
more week, and then she'll be flying off.
Yeah.
3
Right?
more weeks.
3 more weeks.
Yeah.
But we'll be partying with you in 2 weeks.
Yes, yes.
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 And then the third week you fly
And
out.
I fly off.
Yeah. Let's hope she makes it to the flight
We
after
will
that party.
we will be partying with Anjali in 2 weeks, and we would like to apologize to her parents in advance.
in advance. Yeah. She comes home in the middle of the day completely off her face. It's Glenn's fault.
And then after that, the next victim is going to be Shalini. Not that she's going anywhere. It's just like but
Just
we
for
have to
fun.
give her a party.
Yeah.
Welcome party, welcome party.
It's the initiation party.
Yeah.
An
She's
official welcome party.
I think she's looking at her watch going, okay, 10 o'clock, I'm going to go see the boss. Have a
And
conversation.
the official welcome party will be a wild one at my house.
Oh! And she says she doesn't drink. Well, we'll see.
Not anymore.
I'll get the wifey to make some mocktails
Oh,
for
there
her.
you go. Okay.
okay.
But then slip in a
Respect.
bit of alcohol.
I think she
Okay.
can hear you. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Share the video.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.